This is the part where they go to the couch. They'll leave the desk and go sit down. This is the part where they go to the couch. Let's watch them sit down.
Well, welcome to the couch. I am still recovering a little bit from my snack attack there. And I have with me a very special guest. Tonight, my guest is Caroline Kelly. Caroline leads the 7th grade girls group and is an absolute rock star when it comes to just everything that she does around here in the church and for the youth ministry. Caroline, welcome to the Keystone Youth Live Show. I got to open up by asking, which one of those things that we tried, are there any of those that you'd be like, yeah, I'm down for that?
I'm really interested about the Mike and Ike and the queso. I could see it.
That was the biggest surprise of the night, honestly. Like, if you learn nothing else, like nothing about Jesus, nothing about Caroline, if you learn nothing else, learn this. It's worth taking a risk when it comes to your snacks.
I agree.
So, Caroline, welcome to the Keystone Youth Live Show. Would you tell everybody who's watching, the girls who are in your group, they know you, they love you. Hopefully they're screaming out loud at home like, I can't believe she's on there. But for the rest of us who maybe don't know you quite as well, would you tell everybody who's watching just a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Caroline. I'm 20. I live in Ankeny, and I've been going to Keystone for almost 3 years now. Started in Salt Company and then started in youth about a year ago, and then I'm a special ed associate at Ashland Ridge Elementary. So
awesome. Well, we love having you serving here. We love what you've done in Salt Company. I know that's been a huge part of your life. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But you started with us at Reset 2019. You didn't know any of the students, and you're just like, sure, I'll jump in. Had a blast. And then I was like, hey, you should go to camp, and you jumped in and went to Colorado with us. And then never left. You've been around ever since, and it's been super, super fun. So you've kind of become, like over the last year, just a fixture around here. Have you always grown up in the church, or like what was your background prior to coming to Keystone?
So yeah, I actually grew up as a pastor's kid. My dad is a worship pastor, and so I've grown up going to Awanas and kids church and all of that, and youth group and everything like that. But I never really appreciated it when I went. So. Yeah.
So you grew up in the church, and what when you were in middle school and high school, did you play a lot of sports? What were you into? Yeah.
So I was actually a dancer and a gymnast since I was 5, and so that was like my passion. That was where all of my time and energy went into, and it like slowly but surely became my idol, and just where my identity was found. I actually placed my faith in Jesus when I was 5 years old. Even though that was so young, I just knew Jesus loved me and that I wanted him. But honestly, I didn't really start living that out until I was 18. I went to church and everything, but I actually found out my junior year of high school that I had a labral tear on my right and left hip and I needed 2 surgeries, and I was done with dance and gymnastics. And so having that taken away from me, and then on top of that, just not choosing friends wisely, I got involved with friends that weren't living for the Lord, and so I was easily conformed to the world. And so when I had those surgeries, I just started hating going to church and youth group, and I became very closed off and very prideful and just never opened up about how depressed I really was because I just didn't know who I was. I neglected my faith, never read my Bible, and then, I just became a very sad person all the time, but I never reached out to any leaders when I was in youth group because I just was too afraid to reach out to someone, and I was just prideful and didn't want anyone to know that I was actually struggling.
Wow. So in church, still attending, but in your heart, inwardly, like just had started to dry up and even get embittered a little bit toward God after he took all these things away. And honestly, there's a lot of people watching right now that maybe they've had something like that taken away from them, and maybe it's because of an injury, or maybe it's because of even through the virus. I mean, we've got a lot of people who've lost their sports seasons. We're just waiting to see like what's going to happen, and maybe feeling that way a little bit. So to go from there to where you're at today, what was the turning point for you?
So after senior year that summer, like me and the friends that I shouldn't have been involved with, we obviously parted ways, and I just started opening up my Bible for the first time in a long time that summer, And my eyes were just open just to what I was missing out on, just that, it was really just God had never left my side. He never abandoned me. It was just I was selfish and rebellious, but my God, he's so faithful and he was always there. And so I learned that actually through my community I found in Salt Company. That fall I started going, and I finally found that Christian community I never had. I never felt vulnerable or real with before. And sin confession and just realizing like that I'm not alone. And that Salt conference, during one of the worship songs, it just finally hit me. Like my faith is not a joke. I'm not going to doubt it anymore. From this point forward, I'm committing myself to the Lord and just giving him everything and just living open-handed, because we can trust our God because he's such a good God, and he just provided and brought this Christian community that I hadn't had, and obviously started going to Keystone as well. But yeah.
That's awesome. So thankful, because we had Rainier on last week, and Rainier talked about just the huge difference that Salt Company made in his life. And then to hear you sharing really the same thing, that, man, it was through the Salt Company that your religion and just like the going through the motions of it really came alive and became not just religion, but really a passion for a relationship with Jesus. And to see you passing that on to your students now is super, super cool. So we have several groups of people that are watching, and one of those groups of people is they're getting ready to graduate. They're done with high school. The end of the month, they're officially not high schoolers anymore. They're in that time period in their life where you were, that was so pivotal for you. So as they're kind of thinking about, hey, I'm going to have independence, I'm going to have freedom, I'm going to do what I want to do, get involved in college, like what would you say to them? Because that's really the season in life that you've been in.
Well, especially seniors now more than ever, just such an unexpected last semester, and so many last you didn't get to experience the way you hoped, and so many expectations just not met. And I just feel for you so much, and I would just say don't neglect this community that you've had now, whether it's impacted you or not. Just know going into this new independence you have, like, use it for the glory of God and take advantage of what you have here at Salt Ankeny, because there's obviously a lot of places who don't have this community and small groups and people to walk alongside you in your faith.
That's awesome. And so for those who are interested in getting connected with Salt once they graduate, you guys reach out to Caroline. You can go to the Salt Ankeny website as well through our website, KeystoneLife.com. You can click on Salt if you want to get more information on how to get plugged into that once you graduate. They're taking their little break between semesters right now, but they'll be starting up with Summer Salt here very shortly. But I think, for every senior we have watching, there's a ton of middle school and younger high school students that are watching as well. And to the students who were kind of where you were at, they're still coasting in their faith. Maybe they're apathetic, they don't care, or maybe they're bitter and they're frustrated. What would you say to a younger Caroline?
I would say don't wait to start following Jesus and being passionate about him because you care what other people think, because just don't wait. Start now. And like, if you're struggling with something and you just don't know how to talk about it, or you feel so alone, there's a good chance you're not. I can guarantee you that, and that you can honestly reach out to one of your leaders. And even if they can't actually relate to you, we have a Father who can meet your every need. So yeah, I would say don't wait to follow Jesus because of your reputation, and also just start now and reach out to your leaders if you're struggling.
That's a great word, Caroline. Thank you so much for joining us. Anything else that you would want to leave with our students tonight?
I would say go floppy dodo birds. Reset. What was it, 2019?
2019, yeah, that's right. Floppy dodo birds. They know what you mean. Yeah, we did that downtown scavenger hunt, and the floppy dodo birds were all over the place. Just crazy bunch of people. And so you girls know who you are. And Caroline, I hope that you know how loved and how appreciated you are by your group.
Thank you.
We think you're doing an awesome job, and so we're so thankful for the way that you've invested in helping our students here know and follow Jesus. And at the same time, you're investing in Salt Company, helping college students know and follow Jesus as well. And so thank you so much for being with us. Would you mind praying for us as we transition out of this and into the message tonight?
Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much just for who you are and just how powerful and faithful you are. in my life and just all the lives here, God. And I just want to specifically lift up the seniors right now, God. It's really heavy on my heart, and I just don't know how I would have dealt with this my senior year, God. So I just pray that you would comfort them in this unknown and just all this change, and just this was not ideal for their senior year at all, God. But I just pray for all the others who are just swaying in their faith right now, and they just are doubting, and maybe just they're in the wrong friend group, God, and they feel trapped. I pray that they know that you're the only escape, and I just pray that you would lead Chris tonight as he talks through Psalms. We love you. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Caroline.